even though it's my birthday month, guess what? I've got my birthday sinking fund on the side to pay for my birthday. So that's the power of the sinking funds.
Hi guys, welcome back to another Money Talk. My name is Lindy and this is Tando, and together we are Skilled Financiers. If you're joining us for the first time, we're so excited to have you here with us, and make sure you're following us on all our socials. That's at Skilled Financiers. And if you're not subscribed to our channel already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss out on any future Money Talks that we have. And for those of you that love listening to us on podcasts, we've got you. That's at Skilled Financiers as well.
Sinking funds are one of the best things that we've ever done with our budget. They literally help us to stay on top of our money, make sure that we don't spend using our credit cards or overdrafts, and also they make us enjoy all of the things that we save up in advance for. Now, in case you didn't know, a sinking fund is basically money that you save in advance before something comes up. Now, there's a slight difference with an emergency fund where you're saving in advance for the unexpected things that you may not know that come up, like a boiler breaking down, car breakdown, etc. That's what your emergency fund is for. Whereas a sinking fund is actually money that you know you're going to spend in the future, but you're going to save up for it in advance before that thing comes up for you to spend it on. And we're going to talk about the 5 different areas that we save up for in advance, so that when we come to spending our money, we can spend them knowing full well we're not going to be using credit cards, we're not going to be using our overdraft, and also we are not going to be, dipping into our other savings and our investments and etc. So that's the power of sinking funds. So make sure you've got them. So what is the first part of sinking fund that we have that you think people should be looking out for?
I definitely say people should have a special occasions fund. Now, we have a special occasions fund which covers like birthdays, anniversaries, and things like that, like Christmas as well, because those are special occasions that probably come like once a year. Yeah, they come once a year. So it's just making sure that we save up for them way in advance. And I like having this one because, for example, if we save up for a birthday in advance, like you said, we're not having to dip into savings later on, but it also means that, let's say I'm going to plan your birthday 7 months in advance, right? So it's me then saying, okay, I need £700 and I've got 7 months to save it. What I can actually do is then divide that £700 by those 7 months and start saving £100 a month. I actually feel like I won't feel the £700 as much as if I then did it when your birthday came. But doing £100 a month is then a lot easier to do rather than pay £700 when your birthday comes. So I love the special occasions fund. We don't miss out on birthdays. We make sure that at least we do something for birthdays. We've got the money for it. And yeah, even Christmas. I love it for Christmas as well. We save up in advance for Christmas. And Christmas is one of those that you can actually end up spending way more money than you intended to. And the way that we've actually started curbing our spending for Christmas is having this fund, because we know for a fact we've got 500 and that's it.
Yeah, so that is the power of the special occasions fund. The second part that we have is the insurance and the annual bills fund. Yeah. Doesn't sound as exciting as the special occasions fund, but it is still very powerful. Yeah. So think about it. Insurances and annual bills come up for renewal every year, which basically means things like car insurance, home insurance, and any other bills that you get an annual bill for, basically. So when you choose to pay for these things annually, you actually pay the lowest price. Yeah. But if you choose to pay for them monthly, what they end up doing is adding a premium. And that means you pay more over the year. So for example, you might do a car insurance quote and you see that for the whole year, it's £300 for the year. But per month, it's coming up to something like £35 a month. Which if you times that by 12, it adds up to more than £300 a month. So you actually find that if I pay upfront for the whole year, I will pay a lower price. But if I choose to pay it every month, then I'm paying more at the end of it. So how do you then make sure that you pay for it every month? You don't just cough up the 300 out of the blue. You get it from the annual insurance fund. That is the purpose of this fund. Like I said, it's not as exciting as a special occasions fund, but it is very useful for you. So definitely have that in place as well.
Absolutely. To be fair, I don't think bills are ever exciting for anyone.
Not at all.
We just have to pay them type of thing. But here's an interesting one. The third sinking fund that you can have is one for holidays and staycations. Now, obviously, everyone loves a holiday. We love a good holiday. We love a good staycation. We love getting away, just freeing our minds and just switching off for a bit, like switching off from everyday life and just getting to breathe. So why not save for those things in advance? A lot of people actually book holidays way in advance. So some people will book them at least a year in advance. And the beauty of booking one a year in advance is that, yeah, fair enough, you can actually just hold it. Some just ask for like a small deposit where you pay maybe like a £50 deposit, but it allows you to save that money bit by bit. And by the time your holiday comes, you're dipping into your sinking fund. You've got all your money. You're not relying on a credit card. So that's the beauty of having a sinking fund for holidays and staycations. I'm pretty sure no one wants to be on holiday thinking, oh my goodness, I've put that holiday on my credit card, or oh my God, I've not paid for that holiday. Now I think you'd even find it hard to really enjoy yourself and fully be there at your holiday because you're thinking, when I'm back home, I've got this debt that I need to deal with, which is a holiday. But obviously, if you've got your sinking fund, you're on your holiday thinking, I'm enjoying myself. I'm living my best life because I've paid for this holiday. I don't have to think about it, worry about it, all thanks to the sinking fund.
Yeah, but we found that it's actually the smaller trips that this fund really shines the most. So all the weekend trips or the getaways that you do with friends to a concert or whatever the case is, this is where this fund really shines. Because as you said, when it comes to the bigger holidays, we tend to plan for those in advance.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to get a text, today and say, should we go out for the weekend and go away for a trip as a group and go this place and that place? And you would love to do that, of course, because, we want to socialize and things like that. Well, having this fund in place just means that, yeah, of course, I've got the money to do that, so let's go for it. But if you don't have this fund in place, what tends to happen is you dip into your savings for something else, or you use debt, credit cards, overdrafts, etc. And you find yourself in a worse off financial position because of something you really want to do but just couldn't afford. So this fund is definitely a powerful one to have. The fourth sinking fund part that we have is to do with date nights. Now, date nights are a thing, believe it or not. If you're in a relationship, you and your partner are going to be going on date nights. This may even be as simple as going to the cinema or as elaborate as going to like some fancy restaurant somewhere. However way you're going to do your date, it's really good to have some sort of fund in place to pay for these dates. Now, sure, it's people kind of assume, right? If you're not in a relationship, people assume that couples just go on dates. But the thing is, if you don't put the money aside for these things, you may find yourselves in a position where you're thinking, yeah, babe, we should go on a date, but actually we don't even have the money for this because we've just paid our bills, we just paid off this, and we just had to pay for money for that, and we need money for this, and this, and life just kind of comes at you, and you kind of think, okay, we can't afford to go out on dates anymore. Let's just do it at home date. But actually, having a date night fund keeps this thing going, where you are going to be intentionally putting money aside to make sure that you and your partner are going out on dates every week or every month or however so often you would love to. So this sinking fund is definitely one of my favorites because it just makes sure that we retain having that fun in our relationship, and we are still able to prioritize going on dates. Because sometimes we have the money set, then we think, yeah, I haven't been on dates for a few weeks, let's do something, and then we find ourselves planning something in place because we've got that money that we specified towards going on our dates.
Absolutely. And I guess like the holiday and staycation fund, having a date night fund is helpful because you don't want to then decide, actually, we do want to go out, but we don't have the money. Let's use the credit card. We'll deal with it next month when next month comes, type of thing. So it is super, super useful. Now, the fifth and final sinking fund that you should consider having, if you don't already have it, is a home fund. Now, you may think, why do I need a home fund if I'm not buying a new home and stuff like that? But actually, there's things that you always need to do in your home that you may not think about right now, but things that may come up in the future. So you can use your home fund for boiler service, for example. Boilers have to be serviced every year. We don't really have a choice. So use that for your boiler service. But you may be someone that's like, actually, I'm very seasonal. So when seasons change, I like to switch up the decorations in my home to reflect that a season has changed. And you could dip into your home fund for that. So it's super, super useful for things that happen in your home or things that you need in your home. Because like anyone else, you could have maybe drinking glasses in your home and they break. Simple things that you probably don't think about in the moment, but these are things that can happen. Your glasses break, you need to buy a new set. Instead of taking out your credit card and paying for it on that, you can actually just go to your home fund. So it's to be used for things in your home. And it definitely comes in handy. I've found that it comes in handy.
So you see that the common theme here, really, what we're saying is that having these sinking funds in place will put you in a position of power, position to be able to afford these things when when you do want to spend the money, you have got the money to spend these things, rather than being in a position of, I guess, relying on debt or relying on credit cards or relying on, dipping into your other savings every single time that you would love to go on a staycation with friends, or you would love to, do up your living room and respice your decorations in the house, or anytime that you have a bill come up and you'd love to pay annually because you're going to save money for it, instead of paying it for the year, and things like this is what the power of sinking fund brings into your finances. And it literally helps you in your budget to make sure that actually, when this comes, my actual budget for that month will not be affected. Everything will just go on as normal. The bills will still be paid. The amount that I've purposed to save and invest for my financial future will still happen, because even though it's my birthday month, guess what? I've got my birthday sinking fund on the side to pay for my birthday. So that's the power of the sinking funds. So don't sleep on sinking funds, because I think they're easy to forget, but actually so powerful to have them in place for your budget.
And I guess like another thing is, don't think of it as, oh my God, they've said there's 5 sinking funds. Now on top of my bills, I have to have this 5 sinking funds going on at the same time as well. Like, where am I getting the money for that? No, that's not what we're saying. If you can afford to do all 5 or however many you want to do, then that's amazing. Do that. But if you're then thinking, okay, how do I then deal with all the sinking funds? Prioritize. If you've got birthdays coming up soon, your priority for the next 3 months, for example, maybe, okay, let me save into the birthday one and the insurance one. And then when that's sorted, I'll focus on the other ones and stuff like that. If you've got a holiday coming up, or maybe you've got one in a year and a half, it's not as much of a priority maybe as your birthday. So you will switch them up as and when you feel that they're important, but it still goes back to the whole saving up in advance for things before they happen.
100%. So it has been fun. Let us know in the comments about what you think. Which sinking fund pots do you have in your budget, and which ones of the 5 that we've mentioned will you start adopting? We'd love to know. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below. And if you're listening to this on podcast, we would love to have you leave a review for us to let us know that you're enjoying the show and that you're getting some value out of this. We have had some fun. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to speak to you soon.